Today, at the risk of venturing into the eschatological weeds, I want to share a concern with you. And it's a concern that I have over the absence, the relevance or irrelevance, as the case is, of the name of our God, the name of our Father, the name of Yahweh. Exodus chapter 3, verse 15 says that will be his name forever, his memorial name. Malachi chapter 1 says, from the setting of the sun, from the rising of the sun to the place where it's set, my name will be great among the Gentiles. Well, his name is not great among the Gentiles. His name is not great among the Jews. They don't pronounce it out of a misguided fear of offending God, using the Lord's name in vain. Pastors, even evangelical pastors, don't use the name. And yet Jesus said this to the religious leaders of his day. Matthew chapter 23, verse 39. He said, you'll not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. That's a quote from Psalm 118, not Lord. Lord is a masked translation of Yahweh. It's used over 6,800 times in the Old Testament, but it's always translated Lord in capital letters. But he spoke to the religious leaders. He said, you'll not see me again till you say, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. The name of Yahweh and the Messiah are connected inseparably at that point. Yahweh Yeshua Teno, Yahweh our Yeshua, our salvation. So how's that going to take place? How's that going to take place? I think we have some indication in our understanding of the Jewish remnant. And that's spoken of initially in a number of places, but more specifically in Isaiah chapter 10, where the prophet says, in that day, the remnant of Israel, the survivors of the house of Jacob, will no longer rely on him who struck them down, but will rely on Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. A remnant will return. A remnant of Jacob will return to the mighty God. Though your people, O Israel, be like the sand by the sea, only a remnant will return. Now, what size is a remnant? Well, we don't know for sure. But the only place that a specific number is given with regard to faithful Jews that would qualify for that would be in the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 7, chapter 14. In reference to the 144,000. There's some 14 million Jews in the world today. 144,000 would be a bit more than 1%. And yet it appears that they are the ones that lead the charge on this. And let me just read from Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. John, who was given this revelation from Jesus, he said, then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb, Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. There was the Lamb standing on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. 144,000 who had the name, his name, that is Jesus' name, Yeshua, and his Father's name written on his forehead. Right up front, right up here, where you can see it. You can't miss it. They're together. They are to be a witness of the significant coming together of Yahweh and Yeshua. They're to be that witness. That's obvious. Goes on to say, they follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were purchased from among men, offered as first fruits to God and to the Lamb. And so it would appear that these Jewish believers, and this must take place in the latter part of Daniel's 70th week, just before the return of Messiah, that they will, this remnant, they will acknowledge that Yahweh is Yeshua. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. And it's Yeshua who comes in the name of Yahweh. So it would appear that while the nations will exalt the name of Yahweh, they will be led to do that by the example of this 144,000 who will cry out, blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. And that's the truth.